friends, Ali here, and welcome to a Yin Yoga practice that is primarily working with hip opening or working with the hips. So this practice is pretty hip heavy. That's our kind of target area, our focal point, and we'll be working with some dragon shapes, among other things. So I just invite you to practice within your edge, letting the practice be whatever it needs to be, just allowing it to be really kind of internal, meditative, and just whatever it needs to be. You can make it as soft and restorative as you'd like, or you could move toward really feeling that yin-like sensation, and how you practice today is completely up to you. So welcome, and we will get started. The only kind of prop type thing that I'm going to use today for this practice is this super flat bolster that I have. You could also use a bed pillow, a sofa cushion, a stacked blanket, or a folded blanket, or a couple of folded blankets, or maybe use nothing at all. I'm just using this because I like it. So I'm just going to actually put this right here. And the first shape that we'll make is our butterfly shape. So we're going to bring our feet together and take our knees out wide, and then we'll just kind of take the heels a little bit away from the body even more. So just kind of noticing how it feels to arrange the body in this butterfly shape today. Just take a few breaths, just noticing sensation, what and where you feel, noticing what's there and also maybe what's not there. You could stay upright here, just breathing and noticing, or if you'd prefer, you could turn this into a forward fold, or you could even grab your cushion or your pillow and place it kind of across the legs and the feet, just making your way into a little bit more of a forward fold. Now today, I'm just going to bring my elbows to rest on my bolster. I'm going to bring my hands together, and I'm just going to rest my thumbs in that little divot in my eyebrows. So just under the eyebrows, there's this little divot on both sides, and I'm just using my thumbs to press into those little sinus points. Just allowing my time spent in this shape to do dual work, right? So I get some little acupressure to those sinus points, as well as the sensation I'm feeling in my body, my front hips and my low back. So it is spring in Tennessee, and there's lots of pollen. So taking a little time to use the thumbs to massage out the sinus points actually feels pretty good. Anyone who might be new to Yin Yoga might be surprised at the length of time that we spend in each shape. We usually stay for around 90 seconds, 2 minutes, sometimes 3 minutes. The length of time spent in the shape really does help to work deeper into the dense and connective tissues of the body. Now, if you've noticed while you've been in this shape any softening of the connective tissue, feel free to play your edge a little bit, maybe moving more forward towards sensation once more. Or if that softening signaled to you that your time in the shape was done, you might back out a little bit, coming upright. So kind of choosing how you spend these last few moments that we have together in this shape. And then when you're ready, slowly and gently coming all the way up. So between our shapes, we'll take pauses, moments of noticing, moments of interoceptive awareness, noticing the effects that our practice has on our body. And it can just be a few breaths. We'll bring our hands to the outsides of the knees, bringing the feet to the mat and the knees up. You might take your hands just behind the hips and just gently windshield wiper the knees from side to side a couple times. From here, we're going to make our way onto our belly. I'm going to use that little prop that I have. You absolutely don't need to use one, but you can use one if you want one. So making our way onto the belly into our Sphinx shape. Now, you can practice this a couple of ways. You could take your forearms over your bolster. You could even bring your elbows to rest on the bolster. You could get rid of the bolster altogether, bringing the forearms to rest in front of you on the mat. So we'll do it without the bolster first. Bringing the forearms out long in front. I have my elbows just underneath my shoulders. And I'm sensing into my lumbar spine, just noticing if the amount of sensation I'm feeling there feels good. And as long as the healthy stress or healthy compression I'm feeling does feel like positive sensation, I'm good to stay here. But if what I feel there feels like pinching or numbness or electrical sensation or bad stress and compression, pain, then I would back away, maybe taking my elbows more in front of me, taking a bit of the back bend away. So I'd like to feel a little bit extra sensation today, so I'm going to bring my forearms to rest on this bolster so I get just a little bit more sensation in my lumbar spine. So your head does not have to be held upright. If you want to allow the chin to make its way towards the chest, you absolutely can. If you want to allow for some unwinding in the neck, you could allow for some unwinding in the neck. Just choosing how to practice today. So what we don't want is gripping in the legs. So just notice if you're holding on or gripping at all in the lower body, in the glutes and in the legs, and if there's any gripping or holding on or striving or anything going on there, just let that go. And we've probably already been here practicing this shape for about a minute. So we'll stay for about a minute more. Just noticing the breath, noticing how it feels. Noticing sensation, observing how that feels. So we're not judging the things that we sense and feel in our bodies. We're greeting each sensation and feeling and emotion that comes up with equanimity and openness. And then when you're ready, you can slowly lower down. So I'll just take my arms in front of my bolster, slowly lowering down. If you're practicing without a pillow or a blanket or a bolster, you just allow yourself to rest. You might even allow the forehead to rest on your stacked hands. We'll just be here for our rebound, our resonance moment. And then we'll find our way to a tadpole shape. It's a child's position. Tadpole is its name in our yin practice. So when you're ready, just making your way to your tadpole shape. So to set this up, we'll take our toes together and we'll take our knees wide, right? So kind of setting up a little bit wider here in the knees. Now I still might use my flat bolster that I have here to allow my forearms to hang over. But if you were practicing without that, you could simply take your arms wide as a mat, as wide as you'd like to take them. Our toes are together, our knees are wide. We're allowing the hips to sink back towards the heels, and then we're allowing the chest to sink between the shoulders, and then also maybe the forehead to meet the mat or the blanket or whatever you're practicing on. If you're using a bolster at home, if you have a pillow or whatever you might be using, you could take it out in front of you, allowing the forearms to rest, allowing the hands to hang over the edge, just allowing the chest and the head here to sink between the arms, between the shoulders and the upper arms. And we'll just stay here for about 5 or 6 breaths. When you're finished with those round of breath and you're ready, just slowly and gently backing away from that shape. So might just come for a moment to sit on the heels, just pausing to notice the effects of that bit of practice on the body. And from here, we'll make our way into a right side dragon. So what we're going to do is we're going to step forward with the right leg, making our way into a lunge. You can extend that left leg back a bit, making our way into this dragon shape, this lunge. You might stay upright here for a few rounds of breath. You could hang out, crossing the arms over this right thigh. Just being here for a few breaths in this shape. We're going to practice a few variations of this dragon shape, staying in each variation about a minute, and we'll practice on both sides. So from this baby style of dragon, we're going to take our hands inside of this right foot. So the hands kind of make their way to the mat inside of this right foot. You could stay just like this if you would like to. If for your body it makes more sense to just heel toe walk that foot out a little bit, you absolutely can. You could even take the toes out towards the right corner of the mat on a diagonal. If you do take the toes out, it's okay to allow that knee to go that same direction. There you might come down to your elbows, though you can absolutely stay here on your hands as long as this is not too much for the wrists. We'll be here for about 5 more breaths. Now from here, if you would like to, you could come up onto the blade edge of the foot, just taking that knee out a little bit more. If you don't feel like that's the thing that you want to do, creating that winged dragon and then your twist, then just keep that foot down, bring the right hand to rest on the right leg, and you can just kind of use that arm to twist the torso towards the right. And we'll be here for just a few breaths. You could stay just like this in this twisted variation of your dragon, or if you prefer, you could bend that back knee, drawing that foot in towards you, maybe even reaching towards the foot with the hand. So how you set yourself up here is completely up to you. And we're only here for about 3 more breaths. We'll release that foot down if we have a hold of it, just slowly lowering the leg down, bringing the right hand back right to that knee, that leg, and then we'll release the twist, bring that right hand in. If you took that foot out of the diagonal, you could consider bringing the foot back in, and then we'll just send the hips slowly back to more of a runner's dragon. So this is a runner's variation of that dragon lunge. So we're just really noticing the effects of straightening that leg. You might dorsiflex those toes towards you. You could even sit back here if you would like to, folding forward a little bit more. This changes things up a little bit. And we'll just be here for a couple of breaths. And then from here, we'll bring the body forward once more. And just step this right foot back to a child's position. But this time, let's take the knees closer together as we set the hips back. You can take the arms more alongside the body there. We'll just use this child's position as a counter pose. And then we'll come back up to sit on the heels. Just kind of noticing here the effects of practice, the effects that the shapes have on the body and on the mind. And when you're ready, step forward with the left leg. Okay, so we've made our way to our second side dragon. And you can stay just like this if you want, or if you want to come up, crossing the legs, or crossing the arms over the leg, you could. Just breathing here. Noticing If there's any new sensation or different sensation on this side, does this shape feel the same on this side as it did on the other? Or if there are new feelings, emotions, or awareness here. And you could stay upright if you'd like to, or if you'd prefer, you could take the hands to the inside of this left leg, the left foot. If you need to or would like to create more space for yourself, maybe heel toe walking that foot out a little bit to create that space. We'll just be here for a couple of breaths. Probably around 3 more. And then when you're ready, consider taking the toes out to the left, maybe taking the knee out a bit to the left as well. If you want to bring the left hand to rest here, you absolutely can. You can come up onto that blade edge of the foot, creating a wing for yourself first. It's up to you how you want to do that. Another option is to bend this back knee, bringing this back foot in towards you, maybe reaching towards it with the left hand, coming into that dragon tail shape. Just noticing how this shape feels in whatever variation you've chosen on this side. Just breathing and allowing and noticing. We'll be here for just a couple of more breaths, maybe 3. And release that foot, float it down, bringing that left hand maybe to the leg, maybe inside. Coming up with that knee, maybe heel toe walking that foot in. And then from there, we'll just slowly send the hips back to that runner's lunge variation. If you wanted to, you could set the hips all the way back, folding out over this new front leg. This runner's type of lunge on the second side. And we're here for a couple more breaths. And slowly bringing yourself back up. And we'll take this left leg back. Once more using that child's position as our counter shape. If you want to take your elbows to the mat, maybe allowing the hands to touch, forehead, or head rather might drop. You could take these hands back between the shoulders. Releasing the hands back down. Coming up once more to sit on the heels. And we'll give ourselves that moment of pause. Resonance or rebound. And then we'll come sit. I'm just going to take this bolster back out in front of me. We started our practice with a butterfly shape, and we'll just end this short practice with a butterfly shape. So maybe starting with the bolster under the knees, and then we'll just roll down to the forearms, roll down to rest on the back. So if the bolster feels really good where it is resting, you could leave it there. If you'd prefer to take the legs more on it so that the feet are touching each other on that bolster or that pillow or whatever you're using, that might feel nice as well. So this is a reclined variation of a butterfly position. If you like to kind of feel the breath in your body, you might allow your hands to rest on your belly somewhere. We're just noticing the breath, just noticing how the breath feels here. Just noticing how a few shapes can do some really good work on the nervous system, but also deep into the tissues of the body. If you'd like to stay here for Shavasana, you could stay here. If you'd prefer to extend your legs over the bolster for Shavasana, you absolutely can. Maybe taking the arms alongside the body, palms facing up, fingers soft and relaxed. You could stay here in Shavasana in relaxation for as long as you'd like, for as long as feels right. When you do determine it's time to bring your practice to a close, you can gently roll over to rest on one side for a few moments. Just kind of tucking into yourself. And then when you're ready, bringing the body upright. So that's our short Yin Yoga practice for today. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.